Hey everyone, this is Charlie the Plug, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, powered by Empower You Ventures. Don't forget to subscribe so you too can be a part of the biggest empowerment network on YouTube and Facebook. We bring you weekly interviews of Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship, community involvement, also reaction to business news and community news. This does not happen without your support. Thank you. All right, welcome to another episode of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast. I'm Charles McKay, aka Charlie the Plug. Each week we bring you interviews of local Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship and community involvement. So welcome those who are joining us live in our home studio here in Midtown Detroit, episode 146. I think that deserves some air horn. Episode 146. We're excited. Thank you for those who are joining us. And if you're finding value in what we're doing, please like, subscribe, share with your friends and family. We want to let the algorithm know that positive, uplifting content is important too. So let these Facebook and social media streets and TikTok. Well, actually, I'm not on TikTok. I should probably be getting on TikTok. You know, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that. But happy Monday to everyone. We are transitioning to spring, not officially. The weather's going up and down. Hopefully everybody's enjoying their day. People recognize St. Patrick's Day. I'm not Irish, of course. The only thing green I have today is this green pen. So, but hey, if you celebrate that, shout out to you. So I'm excited about our guest today. Before we go into our guest, I want to just highlight our sponsor. This is our platinum sponsor for this episode. So there's a lot of programs going on for first-time home buyers here in Wayne County, Oakland County, and Macomb. You have to check that out. But you may be in the market for a new house. Maybe you're in an apartment and looking to get your first home. There's different programs. Maybe you're in a home and you're looking to change neighborhoods because you have children and maybe think about a different school district. Or maybe you need to upgrade. You need a bigger size, or you just maybe want to invest to find your dream home. So I want to encourage you to reach out to Silas Williams, Community Choice Realty. Are you ready to unlock the door to your dream home? Whether you're a first-time buyer or looking for your next perfect place, Silas Williams with Community Choice Realty is here to make the process smooth and stress-free with expert guidance, a personal touch, and a commitment to helping you find the right home. Silas is a realtor you can trust. Call or text him 586-251-7252, 586-251-7252, or you can email him at silas.williams@gmail.com. That's silas.williams@gmail.com, because your home is just a key turn away, and his information is on the banner below. So shout out to our platinum sponsor. All right, so we're going to introduce our guests, and what I'm going to do first is show a little video. So I'm going to show an intro video and interview our guests. It's kind of, this theme this month is National Women's History Month, and so let me share this video. I'm going to do an intro, bio, and we're going to get into our topic in our interview for tonight.
Are you ready to stop playing small and start thriving after breast cancer? Many executive women like you have survived breast cancer, but the challenge now is turning survival into empowerment, into purpose. I'm Dr. Michele D. Clark, and I've walked this path. After battling stage 2 breast cancer, I made it my mission to help women like you turn adversity into power. Join me in embracing the gift of survival and creating a life of purpose, impact, and success. Connect with me today to discover how you can thrive and not just survive.
All right, so that was a little video intro for our guests, and let me share some more information. So our next guest is a renowned transformational speaker, best-selling author, and executive life coach, affectionately known as the Hope Dealer, okay, in the speaking industry. With 25 years of experience and a remarkable education background, including a bachelor's of psychology, master's in social work, and an honorary PhD in entrepreneurship and business administration, and Biden Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, our next guest is dedicated to empowering high-performing female breast cancer survivors facing 2 strokes, a transient, is it ischemic?
Transient
Ischemic attack, TIA, stage 2 breast cancer. Our next guest's resilience and positivity propelled her forward. She founded Lift after breast cancer, a platform guiding survivors towards rediscovery, self-care, and a community of sisterhood and survivorship. Through the annual event, Lift After Breast Cancer, celebration, elevation, transformation, brunch, coaching, and rejuvenation, our next guest is redefining post-cancer living and empowering women to live inspired, free, and transform lives after breast cancer. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome to episode 146, none other than Dr. Michele D. Clark. I really want to thank you for taking your time to be on this podcast. I know you're a busy lady. You got many things going on, a lot of positive things going on. And so I just want to give our audience a chance to kind of get to know you, a little bit backstory that you don't mind sharing. So someone wants to ask you, who is Michele? What would you tell them?
Yeah, well, first of all, I definitely want to thank you, Charles, for having me on today. It's really exciting to be episode 146. Quite the accomplishment to you, sir.
Thank you.
So thank you for having me. And thank you all for tuning in today. So, asking me who I am, who's this Dr. Michele lady? I'm just a small town girl with big time dreams who God has definitely shown his grace and his mercy. And he saved me from some life-threatening things. And, we talk about life-threatening things. You heard some of them in the bio. The stage 2 breast cancer, 2 strokes, the transient ischemic attack, which most people refer to as a mini stroke.
Okay.
And when I talk about small town, I'm talking about Harvey, Illinois. Most people don't even know
that. From Harvey, MBA?
Yes, I'm from Harvey, Illinois, and most folks don't even know where that is. But it's near the south side of Chicago.
Okay.
Unfortunately, people don't have to be a reporter on America's Most Wanted to know how Chicago got its nickname.
Right.
Yeah. But the good news, though, Charles, is that my parents did a phenomenal job. They kept me away from a lot of that stuff that was happening and really promoted education, which is why, you hear that long list of things, and including the bachelor's, the master's, the PhD and all that. But the thing that I tout the most is the PhD that I got from the School of Hard Knocks.
Okay. PhD of Hard Knocks.
PhD from the School of Hard Knocks.
Okay.
Because it's those things that build the character.
Okay.
And build me to who I am. Sometimes people say, oh, you're this, despite of what you've been through, or in spite of what you've been through. No. I'm this because of what I've been through.
All right.
Absolutely.
Now, so we kind of adopted you here in Detroit, I guess. So
Yep.
How did you end up here in this area?
Go Blue, U of M. I went to
U of M.
I went to the #1 school of social work. Let's go. So
Right.
I'm not a fan. I'm an alum.
Okay. Hey, shout out to U of M. They made the basketball tournament.
Yes. Congratulations.
So shout out to U of M. You're a U of M fan.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you came here, U of M Ann Arbor, and then you decided to stay.
Yes. Okay. Well, my internship hired me. So I did an internship. I'm not going to tell you how long ago you'll start doing some math here, right?
Okay, so all right.
But yeah, my internship hired me, and then I ended up staying here.
And, establishing roots. Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's awesome. So that's a little bit of backstory. Raised in Illinois, in the Chicago area. Your family instilled you the value of education. Now, what led you to have an interest in going into your educational background in psychology and social work? What was the foundation to that?
I got to tell you this story. I got to tell you the story, Charles. So my mom, she usually tells this story about when I was in first grade. So I was 6 years old.
Right.
And I was in first grade. And she tells how the teacher called her and said, your daughter put a sign on her desk that told the kids that they can sharpen their pencil at her desk and then get some advice for 5 cents.
Wow.
So that's what I did. And she said, I don't understand why they're coming to her desk, because we have a pencil sharpener in the classroom, but yet the kids are all lining up at her desk and wanting this advice to sharpen their pencils. Now, Charles, I don't know what kind of advice 6-year-olds needed, and I have no idea what kind of advice I was given at 6. But all I know is I've always loved helping people, and I got to give a shout out to Lucy and the Peanut Gang, right? Because that's where I got it from. I give a shout out right to her. But yeah, so my mom loves telling that story just about how all the way back then, not only did I love helping people, but I also had that entrepreneurial spirit.
Wow, that's awesome. So you had a desire to help people, had the entrepreneur spirit. And so I know we shared a little bit of the bio, just some of the things you've been through and the work you're doing now. What's been your personal journey with the work you're doing, and what's led you to create your organization?
Absolutely, Charles. You know, the main thing is, again, the things that I've been through and having the stage 2 breast cancer, that really played a number on me. The 2 strokes was devastating, but it was shorter lived, if you will. It was real. It happened like that. Actually, I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. I couldn't use my whole right side at all.
Wow.
But God healed me up in less than 24 hours. And here I am. If I didn't tell you, you wouldn't know. 1 year after that, I got a phone call from my doctor saying, you know, you got breast cancer, right? They didn't know the staging yet. But that's the call I got. You know, you got breast cancer, right?
Wow. Was there any red flags or any symptoms?
So what had happened, I have to go back to what had happened was, prior to having the strokes, I went in because I was feeling this weird vibrating sensation on my right side, on my right breast. And I ended up going in to get some testing done. Before I can get finished with all the testing, because they said that I had an abnormality on my left side. Okay. But before I can get all the testing completed, that's when I had the 2 strokes. Okay. Back to back, 2 days apart. So when I went back in to finish up some of the testing, that's when my doctor called me and said, from the test, you know, hey, you know, you got breast cancer, right? And I'm like, no, I didn't, but thanks for sharing. And what do we need to do next? I know, bedside manners, right? So, but you know, I can't complain about how it was done, because everything happens for a reason in the season. Right. So at the time I was sitting at my desk, I was still practicing social work in clinic. Right. And so I was a licensed mental health therapist, still am. And so I was in between clients, and that's when I got the phone call. Wow. So fortunately, he didn't do the whole, oh, you might need to sit down, because then I would have tapped into my emotional side. So I stayed real cerebral at that point, because he just ripped the Band-Aid off. Wow. And again, I got to give a shout out to Mama Clark. She just basically said, you know, when somebody presents you with a problem, acknowledging is the first thing, and now you have to do something about it. So I didn't sit in the problem. I said, okay, doc, what we need to do. Right. And so we went on from there. And what ended up happening, you know, Charles, I had to have a mastectomy on my left side. Okay. The cancer was stage 2, and it was too far gone to be able to save the breast. Right. So I had to do that. And then I decided I wanted to reconstruct. Right. I knew from the second they said I had to lose one of my girls, I said, okay, yeah, I know, right? I said, well, we're going to reconstruct. Right. And because, okay, I got to take a quick detour. Right. Because it really lays into why I came with the vision statement that I did with Lift After Breast Cancer. And I got to do this. My daughter's she's going to be like, Michelle, she's like, Mom, you didn't do it right. So Lift After Breast Cancer, there's the acronym, the LIFT, and it stands for Living Inspired, Free, and Transform. So I got to do that, right? Because she'll be like, you didn't do the transform, the snap. So, but it leans into why I have the vision statement that I do. So taking it back, when I was in high school, I was on the smaller side. A lot of women know it as being on that committee, the itty bitty committee, right? Okay. And so I used to get teased a lot. And so I had this disconnect relationship with my breasts. I wasn't really fond of them. Because
you were teased because you were a small size?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I even still remember some of the things that were said years later, right? We're not gonna fill in the blank on that. But it was very challenging for me. And so I had this disconnect with my breast. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't want to get too deep and too philosophical, but energy doesn't dissipate, it just transfers. So the kind of energy the vibrations that I was sending to my breast was not positive, because I didn't have that positive relationship. Right. So I'm not saying that it caused the breast cancer, but I'm not saying that I'm surprised that it manifested itself in that way. Right. So we'll just leave it there, put a pin in that. Hit me on the back end if you want to hear more. Okay. So, but with that, I felt self-conscious about it. So when I learned that I had to have one of my breasts removed, it's like, Okay. And then they had to be the larger side. So we're not all asymmetric. We're not all symmetric, excuse me. We're asymmetric. And the left side happens to be my larger side all the way down. Right. And so that was the side that had to be mastectomied. Right, and it was like, come on, God, you have to have a flexiomer here, right? But to not make light of it, it was very emotionally challenging for me. Right. Because of the fact of having to lose that side and already having difficulties years ago that I felt that I was recovered from. Right. And now I was sent spiraling backwards. Right, yeah. It took me back and had to recover from that. So from that point, that's why I always knew that I wanted to reconstruct, because I wanted to find that sense of normalcy for me. Everybody's not like that. And everybody's breast cancer journey is different. And whatever it is, that's perfectly fine for that person. I just knew for me, that's what I wanted to do. Okay. And not just go back to what I was, Charles. I wanted to upgrade you. I wanted to get an upgrade, right? And so for me, again, that's my story. So just to kind of bring it up to speed, I had some ups and downs with the reconstruct. Okay. So they were supposed to do the immediate reconstruct, but they could not because they found cancer in my lymph nodes. Oh, so I had to then delay that, and we had to do radiation therapy. Okay. I found my skin being altered and compromised, and I was not prepped for that. So I want to prep you guys to know that unfortunately, if you do happen to hear those words, you have breast cancer, you do have to have radiation therapy, and particularly if you are melanated. And this is not something that, I'm not a medical doctor in that way, but this is from the conversations that I've had, personal experience and conversations I've had with other ladies who are melanated, that it really plays a number on our skin to the tune of it actually burning and falling off. Wow. So I literally stood in the shower and watched my skin go down the drain along with my tears. Wow. One day I was taking a selfie in the mirror and I noticed that my backside actually had effects from the radiation therapy. Right. So it goes through and outwards. And I wasn't prepared for any of that. It was very challenging emotionally. Yes. And so with that, we did finally healed up, ready to get reconstructed. And then I had a mini stroke. That's when the mini stroke happened after the stage 2 breast cancer. So we had to wait a little bit longer before we could go into reconstruct. Finally cleared, put the expander in. So they put expander in to expand the area. Right. I did what's called a latissimus dorsi flap, where they took a portion of my latissimus muscle, spliced it, flipped around to the front to make a pocket and the accompanying scan. Along with that, then they fill it with saline solution to inflate the area in order to make room to put the implant. Right. Unfortunately, my expander started to leak, and I had to have, I told them they'd take it out. That happened right before COVID hit. They were going to take that one out and match the girls up on the next surgery. But then COVID hit and I had to wait.
This is 2020.
2020. So so it started. Let's give a time frame. I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's give a time frame here. So the time frame was all the way back from 2015. Yeah. 2014, I had the 2 strokes. 2015, diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. Had the radiation therapy. Waited a year out. And then a couple of years, actually, it was 2018, I believe it was, when I had the mini stroke. Right. 2019, cleared to start the surgeries. Started the surgeries. Had to take the expander out because that following March was when the expander started to leak in that January. They got me in March. The very next week, COVID shut everything down. Wow. So I had to wait. Another delay, right? Wow. Another delay. Fast forward the tape, another 3 years. I got scheduled then on March 23rd of 2023. I said, well, that's a good date. 032323, right? Right. And so go in. I'm so excited and ready to got my cap and gown on, ready to graduate to the other side of surgery. And the surgeon that marked up my body, they were going to wheel you to the back after we give you a COVID test. I said, great. The nurse comes out.
You're COVID positive?
And she says, yes. She says, your test came back positive. You have to put your clothes on. You have to leave. And I was like, no, you don't understand. I've thrown a false positive before. Test me again. I promise you'll see it's not. Right. She says, I'm sorry, we can't test you again. You have to go. And I was absolutely mortified. I was devastated. I was absolutely devastated. Yeah. And so with that, of course, I had to leave. Mind you, it was another false positive. When I went home, I took multiple tests. When I went to the health department, took a test, it was negative. So I let them know it was negative. They said, okay, we'll reschedule you. 10 days before that rescheduled surgery, I actually did catch COVID.
Oh, again?
No, the first time was a false positive.
Oh, it was a false positive.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a false positive. But so yes, I actually did catch COVID 10 days before that surgery. So I had to wait again, another delay. Wow. In that August, finally, third time's a charm, was able to get that surgery where they quote unquote matched up the girls. Now, some people might, say, well, it was just a 5-month delay. No, it wasn't. So it was from March to August.
Right.
But here's the deal. I've been waiting for that surgery since I heard those words. You have breast cancer and you have to have that one girl removed.
Yeah.
So it was a 7 year between 7 years from the mastectomy, 8 years from the time of me learning that I had breast cancer. So the devastation came because of all of that I was waiting for up to that point. But let me tell you what comes out of that. The transformation, the transform comes after that. Because what God placed on my heart was, he told me 1 year after, so fast forward now to 2024, he told me to do a brunch and turn that date of devastation into celebration and radiate outwards. Okay. And that's exactly what I did. So on March 23rd of 2024, I had our first annual celebration, elevation, transformation brunch. Okay. And that came after, so I chronicled. So let me slide back just a little bit because I want to insert in there where Lift After Breast Cancer got birthed. Okay. So back on October of 2023, every single day I chronicled my journey with breast cancer in the month of October. I actually publish articles on LinkedIn. So you guys can go on LinkedIn right now. Okay. You can check it out. Just go backwards and click under where it says articles. Right. And I publish an article every single day for the whole month about my breast cancer journey. And then after that, I chronicled Monday through Friday for several months. As a matter of fact, I've published over 300 articles to date.
Wow. Okay.
And now I publish on Mondays and Thursdays.
Okay.
And so, but I started chronicling my journey. And then on October 10th is when I birthed Lift After Breast Cancer.
Okay.
So I filed the paperwork and everything. And because I knew it was my passion to want to help other women with what next. Right. That question of what's next. See, there's a lot of companies that help you while you're in the middle of it.
Right.
But what I found, Charles, was that when I was ready, okay, if there's going to be a fun side of having breast cancer, it's the party side, right? Okay, I'm ready to be a part of these different organizations. I'm ready to go on the retreats. I'm ready to have fun. And what I found is because my journey took so long, I had kind of aged out of a lot of the services. Okay. I couldn't get any of the supports. I couldn't get any of the partying. I couldn't go on the retreats. They wouldn't let me play their reindeer games, Charles. They locked me out. Wow. And I said, well, what is this? It's just because of my journey, there shouldn't be a cap on it. So I said, you know what? If you can't see it, then you have to be it. And that's why I created Lift After Breast Cancer to answer that question, what next? So when you finish your active treatment, that's not the end of your journey. Right. There's emotional recovery that needs to happen. And being a licensed mental health therapist, trust me, I can tell you that firsthand. Wow. So I knew that I wasn't the same person beforehand. And at some point I wanted to get back to that person. But what I realized is that person was gone, never to be seen again, because what happened to me changed me. Yeah. So now it's not going back to who you were. It's building back better. Right. It's being the better version of yourself, the new and improved. So how do we utilize as leaders? How do we, as high performers, how do we utilize what's happened in our past, whatever the adversity is, and now be able to transform that into our present and future, and be able to reimagine our life, be able to reignite our passions, and be able to reclaim our power, our purpose, and our confidence. And so that's what I built Lift After Breast Cancer for.
Well, that's an amazing story. It's kind of like a 7-year journey.
Yes, it is.
To create this powerful organization.
Yes, it is. Completion.
Yeah. And you don't look like what you've been through when you're sharing the ups and downs and the delays. And yeah.
Delayed but not denied.
Delayed but not denied. So I think I'm curious, in this whole journey, what kept you encouraged? Who was there resources you tapped into? Who encouraged you?
Absolutely.
You went through this.
Yeah, and thanks for asking me that, Charles. First of all, I have to give all the glory to God. So I had to plug back into my source. Or not plug back into, but stay plugged in to my source. Because, there's sometimes when you may go through a period where you wonder, why me? Why is all this happening to me? The better question is, well, first of all, it's not why me, it's why not me, because as Jim Rohn says, the same wind blows on us all.
Right.
So everybody's going to have trials and tribulations.
Yes.
No weapon formed against me shall prosper. He didn't never said that no weapon would form. He just said it wouldn't prosper.
Right.
So, so being able to lean on his understanding, being able to, and I say his, I'm talking about God. So being able to make sure that I have myself surrounded and fortified with my spiritual guides, making sure, so tapping into that, whether it be at the edifice itself, meaning the church, my pastor, the book, the good book, right? All of those things. And just remembering the word that was within me from when my parents used to take us to church. And so that's part one, plugging back into that source. The next thing is, of course, making sure that I surround myself with positive people who are here in the physical realm.
Right.
So having my family around me, my mom and my dad, praise God, they're still alive. They're in their 80s. And I can still just pick up the phone and get that wisdom over the phone. Right. I have two older siblings. I have a younger sibling. I have a daughter and a special needs son. And so being able to utilize them as my purpose, as my why, as my drive. And then, of course, just understanding that whatever happens to me is supposed to go through me.
Right.
So it's not just aimed, ready, aim, fire at me. No,
right.
I have the target because it's a lesson that I need to learn so I can pull out the blessing and then be able to reach back and help somebody else. So whenever something knocks at your doorstep, like adversity knocks at the doorstep, and it will not. It's not if, it's when, right. and to what degree.
Right.
The thing that kept me level-headed and sane was being able to understand that what's happened to me is for me to go through me to be able to help somebody else.
Wow.
And then let's also be real. I also had a phenomenal mental health therapist.
Okay.
I had an oncology social worker, shout out to Hina,
all right.
who was absolutely phenomenal and helping me through some of those emotional turmoils that I experienced. Because it is a trauma.
Yes.
It is a trauma. Yeah. And being able to have different supports who are there, because I mentioned that I have a special needs son.
Right.
So being able to have, my mom who flew into town, being able to have a caregiver, Miss Ebony, shout out to her. Okay. She's been with us since he was 9 years of age. Right. And she's a part of the family now. Matter of fact, he's about to be 20. So that gives you some. So yeah. So, and again, my sister, she moved in with me when I had the two. Right. Okay. Actually, she moved in with me right before the 2 strokes.
Wow.
She moved in 5 months beforehand. And let me tell you something, Charles. If she hadn't moved in, I wouldn't be here talking to you today. She found me on the floor when I had the 2nd stroke.
Wow.
And I was in the house by myself except for her.
Wow.
So
you had a great family support. You had a therapist to take you through that.
Absolutely.
And other support. So that's great. So
exactly.
Shout out to
and spiritual support.
And spiritual support. So shout out to all support that was there, the family. And I want to encourage those who are watching or who watch the replay, if you're going through something like that, definitely reach out, get mental health help. Reach out to your family members. Maybe you're not going through something like this, but someone who is a family member or someone in your community, and just check on them and make sure they're doing well, because all these support systems are very vital in surviving and thriving. I wanted to, so you gave us the backstory and how you started this. This is the 2nd year, so it was in 24 that Lift started, right?
Actually, it was 10/10/2023.
2023.
Yes,
okay.
is when I started. So right at the end.
Okay.
So we just reached our 1-year mark on 10/10/24.
Okay. And this event this will be the 2nd annual.
Yes.
Or 2nd annual. Okay.
Yes. This is our 2nd annual Celebration, Elevation, Transformation Brunch in collaboration with Pink. It is Fight, Faith, Favor. And let me tell you, Nicole Dean, the CEO and founder of that company, is absolutely phenomenal. We met. She was on a panel. Yeah. And it was almost like love at first sight. I just was drawn to her story, drawn to her character, and so much so till we're collaborating on this event, because what we're doing is it's a fundraiser. So yes, it's a celebration, but it's also a fundraiser, because what we're looking to do is we're looking to start, planning. It's already in the plans, right? So we're planning to launch a pilot program where with her company helps to pay the bills and relieve some of that financial economic hardship that breast cancer survivors have while they're in active treatment. But my company answers is the what's next. So we're a marriage made in heaven, where we're going to help breast cancer survivors with their bills for the first 6 months. And then for the next 6 months, we're going to enroll them in life coaching services So that way they can do the recovery part without having to figure it out on their own. So they're going to have a life coach that's going to help them through that process. So we're going to help them so when they get the diagnosis and they need some support, we're going to help out. When they're looking to put their life back together and again, reimagine their life and reignite their passion and reclaim their power and reclaim their confidence, that's what we come in and we're going to help them with that program. So it's a 12 month program, a 1 year program that we're launching.
Okay. So yeah, we're going to get more into detail with this upcoming event, and we're going to show how people can connect with you. As well, we're going to show the website and how people can connect with you and your resources. So we're going to do a quick commercial announcement, and then we'll come back. We're going to talk specifically about this upcoming event and how you can connect with our guests. So we'll be right back with this quick announcement.
Hey, Detroit. Are you a Detroit area small business owner, entrepreneur, leader of a nonprofit organization, or a business service provider? And are you looking for ways to share your product, service, or your programs with a local Detroit audience? Let us help you increase your reach by becoming an ad sponsor with the Detroit Metro Plug podcast powered by Empower You Ventures. Our weekly video podcast is a growing local feature on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn that focuses on local business and community news. This gives you a chance to connect with local Detroit customers or clients. We offer cost-effective ads to fit your needs. Click the link to learn more about our current ad specials. And remember, connections matter. This is Charlie the Plug with the Detroit Metro Plug podcast.
All right, so we're back. We want to give a shout out again to our platinum ad sponsor. This podcast is brought to you by Silas Williams with Community Choice Realty Incorporated. Are you ready to unlock the door of your dream home, whether you're a first-time home buyer or looking for the next perfect place? Silas Williams with Community Choice Realty is here to make that process smooth and stress-free. With expert guidance, a personal touch, and a commitment to helping you find the right home, Silas is a realtor you can trust. Call or text him today at 586-251-7252. That's 586-251-7252, or send him an email to silas.williams@gmail.com. That's silas.williams@gmail.com, because your dream home is just a key turn away. All right, so we're back with our guest today, Dr. Michele D. Clark. She has been sharing about this phenomenal organization, Lift, that helps people who are going through breast cancer, support services, and just becoming that new version after they recover. And she shared her phenomenal story. Man, I'm just kind of captivated by the challenges you've gone through, because you're so vibrant. You look amazing. You don't look like what you've been through.
But God.
And but God. And so we want to get into specifically about this upcoming event, and I want to make sure our audience can see the information. I'm going to share this here. So tell us what's this event about, how people can get involved, and the particulars about it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm super excited about being able to share about our second annual Celebration, Elevation, Transformation Brunch, because we have, oh my goodness, we went above and beyond this year. So this year we added a VIP segment that's going to start at 10 a.m. and it's also going to include a pink carpet photo shoot. So super excited. I know, right? Super excited about that. And then we will have, so I'm giving you guys kind of like the tour, right? And so then we'll have general admission, and I will do a keynote and share a little bit of my story and do some, I would say, some empowerment. In addition to that, we're going to have a phenomenal brunch. And during the brunch, so first of all, we're sold out of in-person tickets. So let's say that, but we still have virtual tickets available. And now this is not just going to be virtual viewing where you're going to watch us have fun and you're going to watch us eat. No, during the break, when we are eating, we're going to have a correspondent who's going to be engaging with the audience. In addition to that, we're going to go into the auditorium after that, and we're going to have just a full out celebration, and we're going to celebrate breast cancer survivors and supporters. We're going to have a panel of speakers.
Okay.
And amongst the panel, we're going to have some survivors, one of which who is in remission, who is also the CEO and founder of Pink It Is Fight Faith Favor. So you guys will get to know her a little more intimately. We're also going to have a survivor who has metastatic breast cancer. We're going to have a gentleman on the panel who was a caregiver for his wife prior to her passing away from breast cancer, and they were both in their 30s.
Okay.
And then we're also going to have a doctor on the panel, and then we're also going to have my daughter on the panel. So she's going to be able to give a bird's eye view from a youth's perspective of someone who, a child who's had a parent with breast cancer. And again, then we're going to have a lot of giveaways. Oh, the giveaways are so just enormously phenomenal. I don't even want to give it away. I'll give one away. Let's do that. I'll give one away.
Okay.
So everyone who is in house, and I'm so sorry for y'all who did not get your tickets, but everybody who's in the house, we have a phenomenal photographer who is going to be giving away headshots for each and every person there.
Wow. That's
Each
awesome.
and every person there. Yes. So yes, absolutely phenomenal. So shout out to Deb Davis and her company for doing that. So really appreciate her. And she also is a cancer survivor.
Yes.
A breast cancer survivor. So yes.
Now,
Detroit headshots. Yeah.
You mentioned that the event is sold out. Now, where's the event going to be held at?
Yeah. So we're having it at the Wayne State Industry Innovative Center.
Near Tech Town. Yes.
Yep. Right across from the main Tech Town. And it's going to be in the atrium and also in the auditorium.
Okay.
And so really excited about being able to secure that location. It's phenomenal. Right in the heart of the city. I was determined to have it in Detroit.
Right.
So, and definitely support the city where I reside. So I reside in Detroit. And so being able to have an event there, I just really was like, okay, we got to have it pro Detroit.
Now let people know you can still do the virtual event. And they can go on Eventbrite.
Yes, they can go on Eventbrite. So you can go to HTTPS, all that kind of stuff, right? So not www, don't put that in there. Just put Lift Brunch. So that's LIFT Brunch 2025.eventbrite.com. And as you all know, Eventbrite is EVENBRITE, not the other one, right? .com. So go on there and you can then get your ticket, your virtual ticket there. And what I'm going to do, Charles, I want to give a gift.
Okay.
So for folks, especially, if you're not going to be able to be in the house, I still want to be able to give you a gift. And what we're going to do is for St. Patrick's Day and for being right here on our show with Detroit Metro Plug, what we're going to do is we're going to roll back the time. Okay. So you're not going to pay the after early bird. We're going to roll it back to early bird prices. Okay. And so right now, our prices for our virtual is only $35. We're going to roll it back to $25. So all you have to do is when you go to Eventbrite, so you can either go there or you can actually go to my website. You can go to www.micheledclark.com/lift-brunch. And then you can also get your tickets there as well. And it'll take you to Eventbrite. When you go there, put in this code, and this is going to give you that preferred rate. So put in DMP23. So that's DMP for Detroit Metro Plug.
All right.
23. Listen, that's because you all are watching, right? Because you're watching, you're here with us. We want to reward you because Charles is a friend of mine. You're now a friend of mine. Right. So go ahead and we're going to roll back the prices back to early bird special for today only. Today only. And
DMP
for the
23.
Yes, only for the first 23 people. So after 23, that's
23.
It. After 23, it's going to shut off. So make sure you get yours in. And in addition to that, because we have a sold out audience and we also have virtual viewing, what we've added is the ability for you to advertise your business. Okay. So if you want to, what we're going to do, we're going to advertise. We have a digital ad book that's going to play prior to the brunch while people are coming in and gathering and waiting for the event to start. It's also going to play during the break. And then we're also going to send it out digitally to the email to every registrant, every person who attended, all of our sponsors, all of our donors will see your ad. Okay. So you can go onto Eventbrite and have the ad placed there as well. Okay. So once you place your ad, it's only $20. So it's for a business card or a flyer or your logo, and only $30 if you have your own commercial, 30-second commercial, and we'll load that up and have that played as well.
All right. That's great. That's great. And they can do the ad portion through Eventbrite?
Yep,
as well?
go right on the Eventbrite. It's there. Just scroll down and choose the option. And when you do choose the option, and all this laid out on the website on the Eventbrite, but then you just shoot us an email and then of what your ad is, and then we'll have it added to the digital. Right. It's going to be phenomenal.
For the ad, when do you have to have that in?
Yes, absolutely.
It event's on Saturday.
Yes, it is on this Saturday. It's less than 5 days away. We're talking hour-wise.
Okay.
So
I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So what we're doing is if you can get it to us by March 18th, 11:59 p.m.
March 18th.
Yeah, 11:59 p.m. Right. So right before it turns to 3:19. So go ahead and get that over to us.
Okay.
Just do that.
Okay.
I was going to say we might be able to make some exceptions, but I can't make any guarantees.
Right.
But do hit us up on the back end.
What if somebody just wants to donate to? Can they do that through Eventbrite, or is there another way?
They can go right to Eventbrite and they can donate. So there's a drop down for that as well. And you can donate. So I just want to let people know that Lift After Breast Cancer is an LLC. We're not a 50C3 or 50C3. Yeah. 50C3. Yeah, we're not a nonprofit. However, Pink It Is Fight Faith Favor is. So if you do donate through Eventbrite, that's going to be on the Lift After Breast Cancer side. Now, I do say this, you still talk to your tax person because you can still write it off. It's just not going to be a charitable donation.
Right.
So if you need it for it to be a charitable donation, then exactly. But if you need to be a charitable donation, because I know some people have earmarked money for that, then hit us up at info@micheledclark.com. So that way we can get you the proper channels to donate to Pink It Is Fight Faith Favor.
Okay. And I'm going to show our audience your website. We're going to share that right now. So people can do that. All right, so there's the website. Now there's the video that we wanted to share with our audience. How did we get to that?
Yep, and actually, if you scroll back to the
top,
and then go to events, and go to brunch.
Oh, brunch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there it is.
There it is. Okay.
So that's a snippet.
I am feeling excited. I have, oh my goodness, it is almost surreal. This day has been in the making, and it almost feels like, oh my gosh, we're really here now. So I'm in the state of feeling excited and still trying to take it all.
But I want to make sure it wasn't shown. I want to make sure we get that. Okay.
And FYI, you all, this is a lot of high-tech stuff happening here that Charles is doing. So.
Oh, okay. There we go. That's fine. Okay. All right. I want to make sure everyone sees this video.
I am feeling excited.
There we go.
I have, oh my goodness, it is almost surreal. This day has been in the making, and it almost feels like, oh my gosh, we're really here now. So I'm in the state of feeling excited and still trying to take it all in, the magnitude. I'm hearing the music, getting pumped and amped, and I just really want to make sure that everybody who comes really gets poured into. I think we did an excellent program. We have an excellent program for everybody who's in attendance today. So I'm feeling amped, I'm feeling excited. Of course, I'm feeling a little bit nervous, y'all. Let's just be for real, right? But it's good nervousness. It's just that kind of nervousness that keeps you on your toes.
Hi, I am Lady Coco White, and this was a beautiful event, Michelle. You could tell that you put a lot of love and effort into making this a nice event. I just give you all the love and support that I can in your journey.
But I'd like to talk about the other PhD that I got from the School of Hard Knocks.
Hey, it's Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. I'm so proud to be here in space with incredible women survivors, but especially Dr. Michele Clark, who has been sharing her story for encouragement that centered on spirituality, but also centered on this incredible strength about what she does next. That this is not the end, but just the beginning of just an incredible journey that she's on to tell her story that inspires, that it gives a sense of hope. But even for me in this audience, hearing about what she went through the different tests that she said led to testimonials for her, it makes me just pause for a moment and realize, to be honest, that there's this higher being that is in full control, and that he is constantly uplifting and through the test, giving us something that literally makes us even better and even stronger. And so, I don't know, Dr. Clark today was incredible. It was inspiring. I can't imagine what she was going through at those various moments. But to go from 2015 to now, to be able to say, what do I do now? What she's doing now is she's saving lives. She's doing it by making sure it's centered on mental health, centered on women, centered on strength and hope, and so much more.
All right, so that was a little clip of the video there about the last year's brunch. I want to go back to the website here. Yeah. All right. Anything else in the you want to share about the people you want people to go to when they go to their website?
Yeah, absolutely. When you first go to the website, it's going to be a pop-up that has a newsletter. So make sure that you do register for the newsletter, so that way you can stay in the know on the upcomings and the things, the ongoings that we're having. And so that's part one. And just really peruse the website, so that way you can see all the other services that we do provide. So the reason why we started and so this you won't see on the website though, but I was talking about the pilot program that we're putting together. The reason why we're doing that is, of course, with the tone of what's happening now, and especially here in the States, and almost anticipating some of the challenges, the financial, economic hardships that people will be experiencing, and particularly those who have experienced breast cancer. That financial toxicity that we talk about, that's a term that was coined because of the fact of people experiencing financial hardships based on their cancer diagnosis. And so that's why we started this, why we're starting this pilot program. But what we do at Lift After Breast Cancer is we do help empower high-performing female breast cancer survivors to reignite their passion, right? To reclaim their passions and reclaim their power and their confidence. So yes, I'm an executive life coach. So we do life coaching.
So that's how they can, if they book a discovery call, is that with you?
Exactly. So when they book that discovery call, they will be booking that call with me.
Okay.
And then we'll see whether we will work together well or not. Because I know I can help.
Right.
But we just need to find if we're a good fit or not.
Okay. So they can, you do executive life coaching.
Yes, correct.
And then what's some other services that you provide that they can learn about through your going to your
absolutely.
website?
So I'm almost a little bit reluctant to share because we have a reveal that we're going to be talking about.
All right, we have them share that at the event.
Yes. Yeah. So come to the event. So we have something that we're going to be launching at the event and talking about it. But in addition to life coaching services, executive coaching services, I also am a speaker. So I do speak at different events, whether it's as a panelist, as a keynote address. And so being able to, as a matter of fact, I was just on a summit, Leaders Live Generously Summit, that was absolutely phenomenal.
Right. And
so, and being able to impart my wisdom upon others and helping them to get over that hump, again, that adversity. And the thing I love about speaking, Charles, is when I talk about the adversity that I experienced, it's not just relevant for breast cancer survivors. It's something that can really be generalized to whatever nooks and crannies and twists and turns that may happen in your life. Because whatever we go through, again, it's for us to learn the lesson, become the blessing, and reach back and help somebody else. So being able to utilize those things that we went through in order to build up our resilience, so now we can infuse that and be a more compassionate, a more empathic, if you will, and a more skilled leader.
Okay.
So being able to tap into not just our expertise, because my expertise, of course, I have all the degrees, right?
Right.
And not just tapping into the education, you heard all that too.
Right.
And the acronyms, the LMSW behind my name. Yeah. But the experience, that's something sometimes you don't even want to pay for, but something you couldn't pay for.
Right.
Because it's those lifings that teaches us.
Yes.
And that's what I'm able to infuse in each of the programs that I'm able to offer, and that I'm now able to share when I speak on the platforms.
Yes, and I think that's awesome that you turn your challenges into a way to uplift. No pun intended. Uplift those who are facing similar challenges, and you can share your life experience and give them wisdom. And I like how like sometimes when we think about these events and these programs, we think about them when they're in the midst of it. But what's the life after when you're surviving? And who is this new person who went through that? I like that you provide direct services. As we kind of wrap things up, you hit on that the event is sold out, but they can watch it virtually.
Yes.
And so they can go on Eventbrite.
Correct.
About that. Anything that they can expect for those who are watching virtually from the event that you want to share?
Absolutely. Whether you're in person or virtually, I definitely want to share a couple of testimonies from two ladies who shared with me after attending my last brunch. I had a young lady who shared with me that she hadn't gotten a mammogram in over 30 years.
Wow.
But after coming to the event, she went and checked on her breast health. And thank goodness she is clear. She, she doesn't have any diagnosis. But that was something that inspired her. She was inspired to do that. Another young lady said, you know what? I had been wanting to start my own nonprofit for I don't even know how long, but it's just been on the back burner, on a to-do that didn't get to done.
Right.
But after I attended your brunch, the very next month,
wow,
I got my nonprofit. Awesome. So yeah.
Yeah.
So awesome. When we talk about transform, these are the types of things that you can expect. Now, I can't guarantee that you're going to start your own nonprofit, but I will strongly support you to look after your breast health. So that I will definitely say. Okay. But what we do when we talk about the after the what's next, that's exactly what we do in our sessions, and exactly what we're going to do with the brunch is to infuse different avenues where you can say, you know what, I can see myself there. I can see myself doing this, or I like this aspect, and I was inspired and empowered to do this now with my life. That's what Lift After Breast Cancer. That's what we do. It's to answer the question, what's next?
What's next
in your life? Once you've recovered, when you ring that bell, that's not it. You have a whole life that happens after that. And that's what we help you do.
So you're doing incredible work with your organization. How can we as a community support you? How can those who are viewing this video and watch the replay on our platforms, how can we be of support?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing you do is share. The first thing you do is share. Sharing is caring. So let people know that Lift After Breast Cancer exists. If you happen to have someone in your community, someone in your family, someone in your neighborhood that is experiencing breast cancer, reach out. Tell them to reach out to us. Tell them to go to the website and look and see what service that they might want to tap into, and then connect with us. So connect with us. There's multiple ways they can do that. They can go to the website. They can also go to info@micheledclark.com and shoot us an email. And so that way we can help them. So that's one thing they can do. Additionally, they can continue to follow us on the different social media platforms. I am Googleable, so I'm on all the social media platforms.
We have for our audience the slide that has all your
thank you
social media handles. They can look right there.
Awesome. Yeah, so follow me and see what we have going on, see what we have in the community, because once we finish the brunch, that's not it. As a matter of fact, again, we're going to reveal something super spectacular at the brunch that thereafter, of course, we will be promoting. But you'll be able to participate in those types of things and be in the know on the first, when you are following me and connected with me. And in addition to that, make sure that you do support. So whether it be through the brunch here and donating, or if you know someone who is philanthropic, having them to donate as well, because launching this pilot program is so crucial, especially, again, with the tone of what's happening in our communities. And not knowing where funding is going to come from. That can be a very difficult place, even more difficult than being between a rock and a hard place. If we don't want any breast cancer survivor to feel that angst, that pain of not knowing and not having those resources. So that's why it's so crucial for this program, this pilot program, to be launched so that we can bridge that gap, that financial gap for those who may not be able to say, Michelle, Dr. Michelle, I want to work with you, but I know you work with high performing women, and I didn't really fit in that category. Well, guess what? We have something for you now.
Wow.
We have something because we just don't know what's coming down the pipeline, and we want to make sure that we can help to take the angst and the pain out of the unknown.
No.
Yeah,
that's great.
Absolutely.
As we wrap things up, I want to get your final thoughts. what would be one message that you would like to give to our audience, those who in particular about thriving after adversity? What would that be?
Absolutely. The first thing I would say, normally I tell people the first thing is to breathe, right? The first thing is take a deep breath. Oxygenate yourself, oxygenate your brain. And then after that, get back to your passion. Reignite that passion. What is it in you that you felt passionate about? Because a lot of times when we hit those life turns and curves and life beats us up and down, we may lose ourselves in the process. And so I really want to go back to the acronym, to the LIFT framework, living. So are you really living? There is a rapper that said, everybody dies, but not everybody lives. Very profound. So are you really living life, or are you just existing? And the next thing is inspired. When you wake up in the morning, do you feel inspired? If your answer is yes, hallelujah, keep going. If it's no, again, go back to that passion. What inspires you? Look back and see what that is. That's something that we actually help with in our coaching sessions. And then we have the F, and that is free. Free is both, if you've experienced any kind of traumas and you felt traumatized, meaning that you're tied to your trauma still, we have to get yourself freed from that trauma, yourself freed from that adversity, and learn how to transform it now into your superpower. So that's what the transform is. And the reason why we do the snap is because it literally, Charles, only takes this long to make a transformation. And most people are like, what do you mean? Usually it takes like years, or at least then they say like 21 or 28 days to create a habit. Listen, it takes like that to make the decision. Transformation starts with the decision. So that's why we do the transform. So transform that adversity and turn it into your superpower. Wow. And if you're trying to figure out how to do that, reach out to us and connect, and we can help you with life coaching services.
All right, that's awesome. So
transform.
That's
all it takes.
I want to thank you for being on this episode. We're about this platform is about celebrating people, giving them their flowers, and allowing them to share the positive contributions they're making in the community in our city. And we just celebrate you as a difference maker. I want to encourage you to continue on the work and how you're impacting lives. I'm pretty sure there's untold stories of people that you may have impacted, reading your articles on LinkedIn, or following you on Instagram or Facebook, or maybe you watch YouTube videos. And I'm excited about this event. And I want to make sure I share again with our audience how you can connect with our guests. Make sure you go to the website for those who know someone, or you may be experiencing challenges with breast cancer, or you may know someone, or maybe you are a community person that just wants to help out and donate. You want to go to the website. If you're looking for a passionate, empowering speaker that on leadership and transformation and overcoming adversity, you definitely want to reach out to our guests. There's her social media handles. You can go to her email, info@micheledclark.com. You can reach out to her. And I just want to encourage our community to support our guests and share the information. And definitely excited about this upcoming event that you have, and wish you great success. I know it's going to be an awesome event, and just want to thank you again for making time to gracing this podcast.
Absolutely, Charles. Thank you so much again for having me.
Yes, you're welcome. And I'm going to give you the air. Yes. So that concludes our podcast for today. I'll be again next Monday live with another difference maker, celebrating their positive contributions to our city. Just happy Monday to everybody. Please like, share, subscribe if you're finding value in our content. Show the algorithm in these social media streets. Positive content is welcome as well and celebrated. So I'll be back next week. And for those, thank you. We'll have more information, contact information for our guests in our show notes for those who have watched the replay. So thanks again. That concludes our podcast, and we'll see you next week.
Hey everyone, this is Charlie the Plug, your host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, powered by Empower You Ventures. Don't forget to to subscribe so you too can be a part of the biggest empowerment network on YouTube and Facebook. We bring you weekly interviews of Detroit difference makers in the area of entrepreneurship, community involvement, also reaction to business news and community news. This does not happen without your support. Thank you.